Welcome back. A new small business report by marketing firm Constant Contact revealed nearly 3/4 of small business owners now also consider themselves content creators in an effort to connect with potential customers online. But as Dave Charest tells us, many of those businesses are still struggling to get customers in the door because of the current economy.
Thanks so much for joining us. Can you talk a little bit about the report that you all did and what kind of things it found about how small businesses are feeling about the economy right now?
I think the big thing here is that small businesses aren't just surviving during a difficult economy, right? They're actually fundamentally changing how they operate. And so when you think about they're becoming creators, they're embracing AI, and they're really doubling down on those direct customer relationships because that's the thing that really gives them the best chance to grow regardless of what's happening in the economy and what comes next. And so owning a small business in many ways now means that you're a content creator in many ways, right? If you think 20 years ago, of course, you owned a bakery, you baked, right? Like that's all you had to worry about. And today it's like you bake, plus you're filming TikTok videos, you're posting on Instagram, you're writing your newsletters, you're taking photos, right? You're doing all of these things that weren't necessarily part of the job description before. And so marketing now feels a lot like something that isn't something that you hire someone to do once a month anymore, right? It's just becoming part of running the business. And if we look at the numbers behind the report, right, 73% of the people that we talk to actually identify themselves as creators today. Nearly half of them manage their social channels themselves. And in many ways, social is now the number one discovery tool, even ahead of search. What's interesting, though, in all of this, even still with the power that social media has, what I think is interesting is that when you think about social media, that's often what we refer to as rented land. And I think smart businesses are really recognizing this. And because it's again, as I mentioned earlier, social media is fantastic really for getting discovered. But email is really where those relationships are built. And I think the nice thing to see out of this report, too, is that almost half of the people believe that if social media disappeared tomorrow, they'd still be able to survive because of those direct relationships. And so it really starts to tell you something in terms of what people have learned, right? They've understood that need for owned audiences, for those customer relationships, and an idea of actually generating repeat business from their existing customers. And it's not just about that idea of, going viral or anything like that right now. The third thing here is that the conversation around AI has really changed dramatically. And so, 2 years ago, people were really asking, if they should use it. And today it's really about asking, how does this fit into what I'm already doing? And so small business owners, they don't have marketing departments in many instances. And so, at Constant Contact, we know that every hour AI saves is another hour that they can be used serving their customers, building products, or growing their business. And that's why it's important for us to be the partner that helps them do that.
I understand this report also touched on inflation, how people are feeling about that, how
Yeah.
consumers are feeling about it as well. What did you learn about that aspect?
Well, I think when it comes to inflation, what we're seeing here is that consumers are absolutely feeling the pressure from higher prices, right? On the other side of that, the business owners are also realizing they have to raise those prices as well. And nearly half of the consumers that we talk to actually, they've said they've cut back on spending at small businesses, but at the same time, more consumers than ever actually say they are intentionally want to support those independent businesses. And so I think what this does is actually presents an opportunity. It's just small businesses have to work harder to earn that attention and then build those lasting relationships.